Hello and welcome to the All Things Geek podcast. I am Leighton, your host, and I am joined by
Tyler,
my co-host. So today's episode is kind of going to be a casual ramble news sort of episode. There isn't any sort of topic, unlike next week's episode, which is going to be about Moon Knight and stuff like that. So we've got some things written down and we're just going to go through them and probably talk utter dribble and shit about them and whatnot. So so on our first thing, there's two new shows. Two shows that are getting renewed for something. I haven't seen either of them, but one is known for having some pretty poor VFX, and it gets the piss taken out of it all the time.
It's honestly become like a parody of itself.
I'm not surprised.
It's so horrible.
And that's The Flash. The Flash has been renewed for a 9th season. Who's watching it? There wasn't any positive responses to this from what I could see on Twitter, where I saw this being announced. I mean, before we started recording, you said that you'd seen some of The Flash or whatever.
I saw season 1, and I have seen some reviews for this current season. And as far as I understand, it's essentially become like a soap drama cartoon. Like, everyone's overacting and everything's poorly written, and there's always like weird quirky background music, really heavy in like every scene, and and obviously the CGI has always been terrible for that show. But.
Do you know even though like we rag on about like seeing stuff from The Flash and stuff, like, listen, I don't think anything compares to the state of the VFX CGI from Supergirl. Jeez, there was an episode where I saw it on YouTube and I thought, what the fuck is this? They were fighting a giant cat. It was just a random giant cat. I was like, what is this? This is shite. So yeah, that's getting renewed. Superman and Lois, that's getting renewed for a 3rd season. I haven't seen anything for this. It is on BBC iPlayer, so I could watch it, but I'm not really that massive into Superman. So maybe I'd give it a watch, but isn't it by CW as well?
Well, it's on the CW, but it's more being helmed by the HBO Max side of things. So it's got like actual cinema cameras and like a bit more of a budget. Season 1 was really good. I watched that recently. There is some teenage drama stuff. I think it's handled well enough.
I've heard a few things about the teenage drama in it and stuff.
I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I've heard good things. Season 2's not over yet, but I have heard good things so far. And it's a very good looking show. There are some parts in like certain fights where, some things are TV quality, but when Superman's doing Superman stuff, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah. That's fair. I just want to ask, because you weren't on the last episode, because for some reason I just randomly do these solo episodes every once in a while, mainly to talk about Doctor Who, I guess.
I'll need to do a solo episode at some point.
Yeah. But the Miss Marvel trailer dropped, as well as the new Halo trailer dropped, and I just want to know what your thoughts are. I know we had a few things to talk about with the Halo one, especially when we got off recording the last time we were on with Aiden. I think it dropped, and I think we both agreed that it looks visually good, but we're worried about the story, and and I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out now that there's been like 256 drafts just for the first season. That is
I don't know how many drafts shows go through, but that
is
feels
ridiculous.
Like a lot.
That is, and then them saying, which was your prediction, where they hadn't looked at any games or anything like that. and that was your
Because
prediction.
they didn't want to feel quote unquote limited.
Yeah, and then that's exactly the case. They didn't look at any games and felt limited by them. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
This show is being made by people who have just like no real understanding of what makes Halo special.
Well, I mean, for a start, they're taking the fucking helmet off Master Chief for a start, so that's enough for me.
And he's just Joe Schmo, you know.
Yeah, that's enough for me not to watch, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's they've got things like Spartans with leather jackets over their big bulky Spartan armor. They've got. It's just, I don't know, man. Obviously, they've got things like the 2011 cars and like the AK-47s.
2001 cars, sorry.
2001, sorry.
Yeah, an AK-47.
It's a real shame because the VFX look fantastic so far. They could just be showing us the best shots on it.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to do that, and then the rest of it's going to be this drama shit that no one cares about.
Master Chief, I feel like Master Chief's probably going to be the B plot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by it. It's going to be like Dr. Halsey and stuff like that. She's going to be like the main focus of the show or some shit.
Yeah, but
and then
I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not. But I mean, it's Halo, so fans are going to, choke that chicken over it.
I mean, Halo's not doing
it
so good right now because even Halo Infinite has dropped like 95% in its player base.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, it's not doing great.
Wow. That's rough. And then the Miss Marvel trailer. What are your thoughts? I know there was complaints about the power set changing. I know that's kind of your issue as well. But for me, it doesn't really bother me. And the only reason that being is that I kind of feel like they changed it because obviously eventually they're introducing Mr. Fantastic, and then the powers are similar. And I would rather have them show Mr. Fantastic being the only one that has these abilities rather than Miss Marvel sharing them, which we've already seen more of at that point. Do you know what I mean? It would kind of lessen that character's powers, I guess.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it is weird. She kind of has them, kind of doesn't.
Kind of. And I understand that they're not going to bring the Inhumans into the MCU, A, because they would kind of make the X-Men redundant if the Inhumans became popular, and B, because they've already tried the Inhumans in the MCU and it didn't work. So that's not canon anymore.
Yeah. Awful, though.
So I get changing Kamala, but I don't know. I really fell in love with Kamala in the Avengers game. I thought she was really well written in that, and a lot of fun. So I don't like it. I don't particularly like the casting of Kamala in this show either. I'm sure she's going to do a fine job, but she just doesn't look like what I've come to understand Kamala is looking like.
Yeah. I like. It looks fun. And the more I watch the trailer and stuff, the more I was like, yeah, do you know what? This could actually be quite good. I mean, Miss Marvel I don't really care about. She's not a character that I'm not massive about anyway. And it's going to be the same when it comes to Ironheart as well. I don't like that character. But if the MCU can turn me around on it, then fair enough.
Absolutely. You know what I was thinking? Wow. The trailer, I mean, I love the trailer. It looks very fun. It looks very creative. Kind of gives me live-action Diary of a Wimpy Kid vibes.
Yeah, kind of. It's
kind
interesting,
of, right?
Especially with the comic stuff. But I kind of feel like that's what Marvel are doing. They're experimenting with, like, different mediums and stuff, like, for the TV shows.
Yeah, different styles.
Yeah, because they can get away with it, whilst the movies... they can and can't, if that makes sense. Like, you look at the Eternals, which tried to be like an art house kind of movie, and it turned out the way it was, which for me is my least favourite MCU movie, and I just don't like that movie. I need to give it another watch, but yeah, it just, nothing worked for me, and it just wasn't my kind of film.
Whereas, I get that.
with the shows like WandaVision, they can be really weird with it and stuff. Like the Falcon and Winter Soldier, there's your action. Loki, time travel, and all that stuff. What If is like an Elseworld kind of thing where Hawkeye is
it's essentially like a
a family festive adventure, I guess. And then Moon Knight's going to be the very dark, gritty, horror-esque show, and then Miss Marvel is most likely going to be the very kid-friendly teen drama.
Younger, trying to hit that younger, teen girl demographic, which is fine as long as it's,
I'm excited for it. I wouldn't say I'm not excited for it. I wasn't before, but seeing it, I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to know how it's going to turn out and stuff.
I will say, we've talked about the Obi-Wan trailer before, and I won't harp on it too much, but the issues I have with the Ms. Marvel trailer bugged me less, and I am more excited for that show than the issues I had with the Obi-Wan trailer.
Ooh,
and that's very sad.
That's interesting, that
makes me really sad.
That's quite mad. I'm hoping the show can definitely turn you around, but I
hope so too.
I understand like your criticisms and like your disappointments with how he looks and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Especially since Rebels you're quite fond of that show. I guess I'd be the same if it was like done to a character that I really liked or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I can completely understand it. Hopefully, like I say, hopefully the show can turn you around and whatnot, and then you might go, well, he was only in a few scenes, it wasn't as bad as but who knows? We'll have to see when it actually comes out. But moving on from that, there's new Doctor Who promo images, which is very, very exciting for me as a massive Doctor Who fan, as I mentioned many, many times on the podcast. New promo images for the new Doctor Who special, which is coming out, I want to say, sometime in the next few months, next two, which is for the Legend of the Sea Devils. It's the first time these aliens, I say aliens, they actually live on the Earth under the sea for the first time since 1972, which is very exciting for classic Doctor Who fans. Like myself, I grew up with modern Doctor Who, but I prefer classic. So there's some images. The Sea Devils have a new redesign, which is probably by far one of the best redesigns classic New Who has done for a classic monster, and it's a monster that a lot of fans have wanted to see return for so long. So it's incredibly exciting. The whole story is based in ancient Japan, I think. So the Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is taking on a more Japanese sort of outfit, which I quite like. It fits in with that time period and that part of the world, and as well as for the companions Dan and Yaz, which I quite like. I quite like when they don't stick with the normal outfits and change it up to fit that aesthetic of that time period. So overall, I'm pretty excited. Can't wait for the episode. Hopefully it drops soon, or we get a trailer soon. That'd be quite fun. But yeah, so there's more news, and this one is about Morbius, the film we're all excited for.
Oh yeah,
said no one ever. Now, I mean, you can lead with this one if you want, because I know Fiverr is the film you're looking forward to.
Well, so I've been trying to make sense of what Morbius is for a long time, because we've seen a lot of Easter eggs and references in the trailers to things like Spider-Man and Spider-Man being a murderer, and Venom, and Michael Keaton as Vulture.
Well, not just that. It's just like all three of the Spider-Man as well, like trying to figure out which universe.
Stuff. Things like logos of companies from the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and all this kind of garbage.
Well, like I'm sure Oscorp's like in the background from the Amazing Spider-Man,
Something
and then
like
it's
that,
like the
yeah.
Daily Bugle from Spider-Man 1 to 3, like Tobey's films.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's like a Muriel like with murder on, and that's
Yeah.
like that's got Tobey, but it's like yeah, whatever. And then Vulture, obviously.
Potential spoiler warning if you care.
Yeah.
Or
If you're
spoilers for
bothered about
Morbius.
a film that is probably going to be pretty terrible, yeah, go straight ahead and spoil it, I guess.
All right. So apparently, all the references that we've seen in the trailers have been removed from the movie, essentially making it the biggest false advertising in a trailer that I can think of.
Yeah.
And supposedly Keaton has been relegated to a post-credit scene,
which is mad when you think about it, because like it's so desperate from Sony to like put all this stuff into a trailer and then go, come on, you never know what you're gonna get, and like obviously there's very gullible fans out there who are thinking, oh my god, Tobey Maguire's going to show up in this film, or Andrew Garfield, and it's just not the case whatsoever. And then it turns out they were like, let's just cut all that out, all the relevant stuff for the movie out, and we'll put Vulture in at the end, which doesn't really explain how Vulture's in the movie when supposedly the film is set in its own universe.
I haven't a clue. But, no. Let's have a moment of silence for all those poor YouTubers and Marvel TikTokers.
Who made daft amounts of videos trying to speculate who and what's in the movie.
All those theories. And we're hoping for tons more videos on how to connect it, and now they'll never get out.
It's quite revealing when a main cast member comes out and says he felt confused by the script, by his character.
Yeah.
Matt Smith, obviously famously known for playing the Doctor, was the Doctor under a writer called Stephen Moffat. He's a great writer and stuff, but his stories are quite confusing at times. Now, if he's saying this is confusing, then bloody hell, there's something going on here. I genuinely think that they had a drink one night at the meeting room and just thought, fuck it, let's just make a shite movie and see what happens. And I feel like that's exactly what this film is.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't understand anything about his character.
Yeah, which is mad, because you'd think well, here's the script, this is your character, there's the backstory, this is where they come from, you know the motives, all that stuff. That's typically how a good script comes across. If an actor is like, yeah, it was confusing, I didn't understand the backstory, didn't understand this, I'm not sure where they're going to end up, it's not a good sign. So it's quite funny. I can't wait to see this film flop massively. I honestly think, though, that the people that loved Venom 2 are going to be all over this film. Or even, oddly enough, people who love Fast and Furious films are going to be oddly over this. Those kind of shit films, do you know what I mean? Bang average, turn your brain off, shite. I think that's going to be it. But yeah, I mean, Jared Leto's starring in it, so that says enough for me. The guy's pretty weird.
He's a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah, he does some really weird method acting to get into character, which is so bizarre. I mean, for a start, Morbius is a C-list Spider-Man villain anyway. Even die-hard Spider-Man fans can tell you he's not a great character whatsoever, so why are they making a film about him? I don't understand Sony's mindset behind the film, because
they're trying to hype it up with things like that video of the lore of Morbius and stuff like that.
This amazing Marvel character that no one's heard of until this time. You might as well just make a film about the Wall, and that would get people in seats. All right.
I would go see that.
Yeah, definitely. But just this whole thing with Sony at the minute, the they've got such a hard on for making these villain movies, and I don't understand it. Like, fair enough, Venom is Venom, like, fair enough. And he's like an anti-hero, which, yeah, fair enough, he is. But do we really need, like, a solo Kraven the Hunter like movie, or a solo
Kraven
Morbius?
the Hunter has one good story, and it's where he tries to kill Spider-Man and then kills himself. So, what are you gonna do?
So yeah, that's that. I guess it's just I can't. It's coming out on April 1st, so that should tell you everything you need to know about the film as well. Bit of a joke day for a joke film. That is, it's going to be a mess. I'm not sure what comes out around that time as well. Like if there's any other films, but if it's on its own, then maybe. But,
yeah, I mean that's like next week, and I haven't heard anything else about any other movies
it'll
coming
be
out.
pretty embarrassing if it doesn't make money. Then if it's the only new thing that's came out,
right?
So yeah, that's quite embarrassing. Or hopefully it'll be embarrassing. But Hasbro has given us some new figure reveals. So firstly, we've got new Fortnite figures or repaints. We've got who's the first one? Is it Chaos Double Agent?
So
this is a repaint, and it's like gold and white. There's a new Tommy gun, and I'm not sure what else is new in it.
So he comes with the new Tommy gun. He is fully repainted, and then he has his unmasked head, which is kind of this Slender Man-y, gloopy head.
Oh, that's what it was. I was looking at it. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. And the other version did not come with that.
Yeah. So that's. I'm curious to know if it's just like a separate head, and then like, do you know what I mean?
I assume you'll just pop it right off and then pop it back on. But I was not interested in the first release of Chaos Agent.
Yeah,
I think this one looks way more visually interesting. So I might.
I mean, I do like the original one, but that's just me, I guess. But I'll let you talk about the next one because I feel like that's more up your alley, if anything.
I really didn't like the Lynx figure, but we are getting, which, I mean, it's a fine figure. I just have some select problems with it. Yeah. We are getting a red Lynx at some point. No official pictures of it yet.
Yeah.
But I assume it's probably like an Amazon exclusive or something like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm a sucker for red. It's my favorite color, so
so
a red Lynx would probably be pretty fun for me.
You know, like, when I've seen, like, repaints like this from Hasbro, I'm like, have you lads been looking at DC Multiverse recently or something? Like, away.
Well, I mean, all these figures are going to have like pretty unique sculpts for the most part. So
yeah, true.
They gotta,
and I'm not sure there probably is like a red version of Lynx anywhere.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of color swaps for different skins. So I'm sure we'll see some of those.
Well, that should be interesting. We'll have to see if we get like the red Ripley. I know that's a version. Yeah, and just see what else comes through. And then we've got new images of Mancake. I think we're both looking forward to this figure, actually. I think you more so than me.
Yeah, I have the skin in the game, and I like it quite a lot. I would like to see a recolor of him, because technically the version with the cowboy hat and the mustache has like a black poncho and black pants.
Oh, right, okay.
So he's a bit darker looking.
Yeah.
But
if you haven't got a clue what these characters look like, please do feel like to look up on Google. But Chaos Agent, for example, is just an alien in a suit. Lynx is like a human cat lady thing.
Like Catwoman, but
and then Mancake is a cowboy-looking fella with pancakes
for a head and a butter bandolier across his butt.
Yeah, which is great. It's so fun. I love how creative these skins can get. He comes with a lot of accessories, which is very nice to see. He actually comes with quite a fair bit. Actually, we're looking at him.
He comes with his harvesting tool. He comes with his back bling, the syrup eyes, and then the alternate hat and eyes with the mustache. He comes with his cannon, He comes with 2 revolvers that go in his holsters.
Yeah.
And just a regular gun. So yeah.
Yeah, Scar. And then he comes with that little jar of syrup, I'm guessing.
Yes, the jar of syrup.
So he does get quite a fair bit of accessories, and like that cannon's gonna be quite biggish, especially if it's fitting with like 6-inch scale stuff. So that's a very exciting release. No idea on the price for these or that one. I know Lynx is up for like $25.
Well, she was, yeah.
For an Amazon exclusive. I'm not sure about Chaos Double Agent or Man Cake. But we've also got Marvel Legends reveals, or one Marvel Legend reveal, which was the X-Men 90s animated series Jean Grey. Oh, God, what do you think of this?
So, I didn't grow up with the 90s X-Men.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people did, and I'm sure fans of that are into this. The heads on this thing are awful. The face is
terrible. She looks so depressed.
Worst. Yeah, it's I don't know, man.
It looks. I mean, you would think that X-Men fans are happy for this, but I mean, if you look at the comments, especially on Instagram and whatnot, they're ripping the figure apart. And I mean, I don't blame them. The hair is far too orange. The face sculpts are boring and lifeless. She genuinely looks deadbeat behind the eyes, and then like the accessories are half-assed. Like she doesn't come with any sort of like effects or anything. So it's just I haven't like seen or bothered with this 90s animated series from the Legends line. The only one that I was looking to get was Wolverine, but I've already got a Wolverine now, so I don't need the one. But yeah, that looks like a pretty disappointing release. And then we got some Transformers reveals, which is very exciting. And for the RED line, you've got one of these figures, haven't you?
I've got 2 of them. I've got Optimus and Megatron.
Okay.
From the first wave.
What's the quality like of these?
I mean, it's akin to Marvel Legends.
All right. Okay.
They're not the best articulated, but they've got some alright things. Like Megatron has a really good ab crunch. Optimus has no ab crunch, but they have like drop down ankles to where like their ankles can extend and then get more movement. But yeah, I mean they're fine. I wouldn't buy any more. But
yeah. Well, if you don't know, if you're listening, you don't really collect Transformers. RED is this new line that Hasbro's put out where the Transformers don't transform. It's like a 1-to-1 screen accurate representation of the animated character model, but they don't transform. Transformers fans like myself, my proper diehard ones, are kind of against this line. I get it. I completely understand it. But they have put up images for Shockwave. I want Shockwave. He looks so good in that gorgeous purple. And then we got images for Galvatron as well, which I don't really care for Galvatron personally. He's not really a character I really care that much about, but absolutely love Shockwave. I wouldn't mind getting Soundwave at some point.
If I were to get one more, it'd probably be Soundwave.
Yeah, I think Soundwave comes with Laserbeak as well, and he can eject. I think.
Yeah, he doesn't transform, but he has the cassette.
But if you look at the image for Shockwave, it kind of looks like he's got massive ball joints, like for the shoulders.
I wouldn't get your hopes up, but it does kind of look like that. Yeah.
Probably isn't. So yeah, that's been the reveals, I guess, for the last few days. No one knows, something will just randomly pop up.
Well, there was one more reveal.
Yeah. Sorry.
So the Power Rangers Lightning Collection has been quiet for a little while. They haven't been revealing too much, but they did show off a 2-pack of essentially gender swapped Rangers, but it's the Red Ranger as a girl with Trini inside, and then the Yellow Ranger with Jason inside as a guy. And so the Red Ranger is cool. It's got they're updating to have pinless joints and double pinless elbows for the girls.
Yeah.
And they also are adding drop down hips, which is interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of those on the G.I. Joe line, so we'll see how it goes here.
I haven't had a figure with those in, but I'm curious to know how they hold up over time and stuff.
But
I don't really see much point to them, in all honesty. I guess you can get more articulation, but
So the thing most people are complaining about with these two figures. Also they have posable necks. They have a ball joint at the bottom of the neck. I just realized that.
All right.
But the thing most people are complaining about with these two figures is they did not make new helmets. So the Yellow Ranger's helmet is still sized for a female figure, and the Red Ranger's helmet is still sized for a male figure. So the Red Ranger has this gigantic bobblehead, and the Yellow Ranger has this tiny little pinhead.
Yeah, it's weird, that.
And it kind of applies to their unhelmeted heads as well. One of Jason's head seems pretty small, and then Trina's seems pretty big.
Yeah, it's weird, though.
So that's a strange decision, but it's cool to see that they're updating the line a bit.
I'm not complaining. I'm happy to see a Yellow Ranger as a guy, and the yellow being my favourite colour and all. He looks very good, apart from the head, but I'm not massive into Power Rangers anyway. The only show that I've watched or vividly remember watching was SPD whenever that was out. And I remember that being good.
If they start re-releasing the SPD Rangers on these new bodies, I will definitely get those, but otherwise I'm not going to get those.
Are the current ones... Did you get the current ones or something?
Yeah, I have all the SPD figures.
All right.
Besides the... A Squad Rangers. But,
all right. What are they just like on older bodies with pins and stuff then?
Pins. They don't have the neck. They have ball hinge necks. They don't have the drop downs.
Yeah.
And female figures have single elbows.
Oh, shite to that then.
Yeah.
Oh well. So there's a toy manufacturer. Or a bloke called Todd McFarlin. Now, if you don't know who Todd is, I'm sure he is the guy that created Venom and Spawn. Is that correct?
I don't remember if he created Venom, but he did a lot of work on... I don't think he created Venom. I think he did a lot of work on Spidey and a few... art for a while on Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was not like in the 90s and stuff.
Around there.
Yeah.
Not Thatch Mac would know better.
Yeah, well, anyway, in my note, well, anyway, he worked in comics. Now he I don't know, is he the head of McFarlane? That makes multiverse figures and shit like that.
It's his company.
Yeah, well, anyway, in my notes, I've just got Todd McFarlane is a delusional prick. Shall we elaborate? Because obviously, if anyone's listening, they don't collect figures or they don't watch certain reviews, then they won't understand the job.
I want to say this because people do like McFarlane for reasons, and they do like his line. Yeah. He did an interview with Artemis Prime where he talked about, answered some questions and talked about certain things.
Yeah.
So he did say that he is going to... they're going to start dialing back on the side eye, which I loathe.
Wait, I don't even understand why it's there to begin with.
So the spiel he gave was like, say you have a basketball player dribbling the ball and he's looking off to the other side, like he's looking at some other players or like someone to pass to or whatever. Right. So he essentially was like, well, it makes it more dynamic or whatever.
It doesn't though. It just makes it fucking annoying for collectors.
Very, very limiting. Mm-hmm. And he did say that, they definitely went too far on some figures and that they were dialing it back and it wasn't as well received as he thought it was going to be.
Who thought fucking side eye was a good thing though?
Well, he did. So, but so
Says a lot.
they're doing that. They also did say that they might end up doing some weapon packs for
Please do.
their figures, because their figures can't, or at least the DC figures cannot come with guns.
Because
Warner Brothers
has like such a hard on for not letting the figures have guns for some bizarre reason. Get like a character like let me think of one that has like something like, I don't know, Bloodsport from
or Peacemaker.
Yeah, and he comes with an axe or two swords. Both of them are mercenaries that are like trained with guns. That's their thing, and they come with stabby shit.
Which they do use, but I almost feel like they only use those for the sake of the toys to have something.
But I mean, you say that, but like, look at figures like, I don't know, Red Hood, which is known for having pistols. Like, that's his thing, and they release a version of Red Hood that comes with a bit like a metal bar, some shit. Like, all right.
Yeah.
It's
or half
so
the time
weird.
It's no accessories and trigger finger hands. Like,
oh my god, don't! That is terrible. So if you don't know,
they also just put trigger finger hands on like most of their figures. Like Superman will have trigger finger hands. Why?
God. So if you don't know, DC Multiverse is a new 7-inch line that started. When did it start? Was it last year or something?
2020.
2020. It's quite new. And anyway, it's trying to find its footing. But WB, which is the head of DC and stuff, they have a strict no gun rule on merchandise or whatever. So McFarlin can't have guns with their figures, even though certain characters need to have guns because that's what they use. So to get around this, I'll take the Penguin from the Batman. The character's like, if you know anything about the Penguin, he's like a gangster mob boss kind of fellow. He uses guns and stuff and whatnot. Anyway, so he can't use guns. We'll just give him a hands that's sculpted as if he's like making a gun out of his fingers. You know what kids do?
Yeah, he's finger blasting.
Pew pew! Like what kids do when they're like, I'm gonna shoot you with my gun. It's like that. And he's giving off this side eye as well. It's so bad. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, anyway, this isn't the reason why he's delusional, alright?
So, in that same interview, he had some choice words about female comic book figures. He also has this very weird thing where he's like, he has to be hush hush about saying the word female, and I don't.
Yeah, as if very saying female's like a bad thing and stuff.
Taboo.
I know some men out there have like a proper hard time understanding what a female is. You know, they're too busy making like 25 videos about Brie Larson on the internet and stuff and whatnot instead of going outside and sniffing the fresh air. But yeah, carry on.
So I think it's a joke, but I also don't think it's a joke. He says that, you know, if you were to give your son a female action figure of a superhero instead of a monster or a robot, or
after they go down the boys' toy aisle or some shit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you were to do that, then like that's how serial killers are born. It's like, I'm pretty sure he was joking, but it's
and ridiculous thing you can hear.
The worst. It's the way he talks about it the whole time is just.
And then like he goes on to say like, "Oh, women action figures don't sell." Well, here's the thing, Todd. They do sell. Maybe your male figures struggle to sell more than your female ones. So how do you explain that?
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I can't go into a store somewhere and find Scarlet Witch on on a shelf because guess what? She's sold out. So
yeah, no, she's a hot commodity, you know, things like that.
Absolute dribble, in all honesty.
And I'm gonna be honest, every store I've gone to, the DC figures are peg warm, and
that's the thing as well. Like, supposedly the line won best figure, like best thing of the year or whatever it was, but best line of the year. How? How? It's new, fair enough, yeah, but even DC fans are complaining about it, saying that it has faults and whatnot, and this, that, and the other. Like, listen, right, it's going to be a good while before anyone can say, oh, it's just as good or it's as better than Marvel Legends, because that just isn't the case. The build quality isn't the best anywhere. The articulation's naff, depending on the figure. Side eyes, can't have guns. Fair enough, they come with stands. That is the one thing I do like about them. But one thing I hate, apart from the other things I've just listed, is how much empty space there is in the packaging.
Most of them don't come with accessories, and when he puts out a new figure, he'll put out like 3 different versions. One is in all gray or all gold or whatever, and then one just has a crappy alternate head that should have just come with the main figure to begin with.
So this is what I find incredibly insulting about this line. So, for example, I've just bought the new Batman figure, and he comes with a flat palmed hand and then a semi-closed one. Now, if I want the second semi-closed hand, I have to buy the bike that is supposedly meant to come with him.
That's awful.
That is ridiculous, that.
And still no fist hands for the Batman. The guy
exactly. You know, the probably the most angriest incarnation of the character we've seen on screen.
Yeah, he's just pummeling the absolute crap out of people in trailers and in the movie. And he's just got karate chop hand.
I mean, fair enough, it's for, like, the grapple, but even still, like, I don't understand. Like, they can't say, oh, we can't package extra hands because what about the Penguin? Like...
Yeah, he has, like, 2 extra hands, and they're bad hands, but he has 2 extra.
It's like, listen, you've got so much, and for some reason this has just turned into ranting about DC multiverse figures. But we're going to go on because, you know...
let Todd go at some point.
Yeah, I don't understand how the packaging can be as big as it is, and then you have the figure like squashed to the side. It's got a card that's like, I don't know, a few inches, and then a bit like a little circle base that every figure comes with and whatnot.
Yeah, a trading card that the first few waves never looked like the character art. B, sometimes they're just putting pictures of the figures on.
Yeah, so it's very
entirely inconsistent. And then why would you trade the trading card of your action figure with anyone? It's not a trading card.
Hey, you
doesn't make any sense.
It's like, I don't understand how it can be classed as a trading card when it's literally just like a promo pic. Like, it's just put the boxes smaller, all right? And fill it out with shit. It's just so annoying. I don't get it, mate. Like, it's so weird. Like, you look at Legend packaging, and let's think of like a standard Legends figure. What do you get? Actually, no. Let's pick a Spider-Man one. Spider-Man figures are normally the best examples to give. So you get 6 pairs of hands, sometimes an extra head, webs, sometimes.
Sometimes you get 2 extra hands. You know, it depends.
Yeah. But we'll look at like Pizza Spider-Man, for example. 2 heads, 6 hands, an accessory with a pizza on, and like a web thing. Like, that is what you should be including in certain figures, like that much. Yeah. When it comes to figures like Batman figures, I want fists, I want a grapple hand for a grapple gun, one with a Batarang, and maybe one that doesn't have side-eye, please. The thing is, as well, is that some of the figures can't stand either. A lot of like the animated Batman ones, where the proportions are really off anyway, but it's still not an excuse why your figure shouldn't be able to stand.
Yeah.
And whatnot.
No. And I guess the display stands are there to help supplement that, but like, I mean, it's still a fault of the design.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I could rant forever about how terrible I think that line is. And I bought a $30 Netflix Witcher figure, which was not worth the money I paid for it.
Was it not? I didn't ask you about that because I know you got that the other day or something. So do you want to rant about McFarlin figures even more?
Well, he's got this shitty cape that has like this crappy little ribbon that you're supposed to tie around his neck, and then he couldn't move his torso at all, and his side eye was just like touching
I
the
didn't know
side
that
of
figure
his
had side eye.
eyeball. Yeah, oh god, I need to his sword is this terrible rubber that gets bent so easily and doesn't go back to shape. It's all not great, but I'm going to use it for a custom anyway because it's the only thing that's out there.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know that came with side eye and stuff, and
yep,
their capes are pretty bad. Like they're just. I know Legends can be bad when it's too excessive or whatever, but multiverse figures have a pretty bad rap with how thick the plastic is for the capes, and just like.
Oh well, this Geralt figure came with a fabric cape.
All right, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's why it was $30. But it was like, I mean, it's like just like a strip of fabric that you'd get from a terrible Batman costume, like a $10 Batman Halloween costume. Yeah. It's not good.
I'm gonna have a look actually. 2 secs.
Yeah.
Is that from? Did you say it was from the Netflix show?
Yeah.
McFarlin. There's probably a McFarlin fan who collects stuff listening and just sweating and foaming at the mouth.
I started with some good things to say about Todd McFarlin in that interview.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
God, that eye is bad, and I mean the head itself looks terrible. That cape is shite.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing is? They've put that cape in there. Lego gives you better capes than that. Lego.
Kind of, yeah. Sad to say.
I mean, like with CCBS figures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Definitely better.
The fabrics for that were like so much better. Well, anyway, let's move on from slagging off Todd and his shitty toy philosophy, I guess, and whatnot, and somehow ended up just ranting about McFarlane toys in general. But needless to say, I am looking forward to my Batman figure when it comes. I can't wait to customise it. Probably gonna do that at some point whenever I get it. I've got hands ready for the figure because we've discussed the terrible hands that it comes with. Got a new cape which is just been taken off my Darth Vader, my Star Wars Black Series Darth Vader figure. So if I need a new cape, I can always just make one for Vader. But yeah, have we got any new buys? I say that as if you just haven't received a figure whilst we were recording. So I'll let you talk about yours first.
Yep.
Since apologies, I just made a noise on my desk, but I just knocked a figure over. Yeah, Tyler's just received a new figure, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I ordered the revamp of the Winter Soldier Bucky.
Yeah, didn't it come out in like 2014?
It's somewhere around there. Yeah, it's certainly a dated figure, and that definitely. Yeah, it definitely shows. But it's well sculpted for the most part. There's an issue with the hands. They don't have a very good grip, and then they don't have the vertical hinge.
Yeah.
And with how they're sculpted, there's kind of a disconnect between like where you'll point the arms and where the hands want to point the guns.
All right. Okay.
So they kind of want to point them down.
That's weird.
One of the pictures I sent, you can kind of get
I'm having a look right now, and I can see like where he's got like the two silenced pistols, which he never has in the film, by the way. They're pointing down. He should have a Scorpion, which is a SMG instead of that. The assault rifle's correct. Can he hold that all right or not?
Not very. I mean,
the face doesn't look that good. To be fair,
solid grip. Yeah, the masked head is definitely better than the unmasked head. And then I threw on a random older pre-photoreal Bucky head that I have for some reason.
Civil War, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, it's a fine figure. I don't know.
It's nothing amazing. Well, I purchased the 20th anniversary Captain America figure. And I can safely say it's in my top 3 Marvel Legends figures. I would safely say also it is my favourite Marvel Legends figure that I own. I know a few weeks back I said Zemo was, but actually thinking about it, I 1000% know my top 3. So Cap's in there. I'd say Cap's at top. Second is War Machine, the comic version, because I love that figure so much. And then my third is either got to be Red Skull or MODOK. Yeah, either one. Depends on how I'm feeling. I was going to put Frogman in there, but this figure. I know when the images first came out and the price, I wasn't so sure because £35 for a normal like standard figure with like a stand, a card back, accessories and whatever. I was like, do I want to hold off or what, even though I want a comic Cap? I can honestly say for me it's worth the money. I love the card back that you get because it's like you get the first comic issue on one side and then it's like different on another. The stand's nice, it's quite big. I don't really use it. The only issue I guess you could kind of take is the shield having holes in it, which should bother me, but it doesn't, because you can, like, especially if you have the shield like flipped backwards, so the holes are back like further up the arm, and if you pose it in a certain way you can't really see them. Don't get me wrong, it would be nice if there was an extra shield. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have liked an extra one. But yeah, overall, like the sculpt, the paint, it's just some of the best they've probably put out. Like individual scales painted and stuff, and then like red highlights for certain sections to like give the abs and back and shoes and boots more depth. It's really, really nice, and it's really bright as well. So it goes really nice with the AI Iron Man, for example, because I much prefer the yellow and red to the gold and red, especially for a retro comic Iron Man. So the colours just really pop, whereas the 80th anniversary Cap, which it's based on, is a very dull blue and red. So I'm quite glad I got this one. Shame about the shield having holes, but it's a nifty little feature. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm looking to get Hulk out of that line. Are you looking to get anything from that line? I know you're not really a comic collector, are you?
No, not really. I will say that that Cap does look like my mind's eye of classic Captain America more than
probably would say it's
darker
the best.
one. But
yeah, it's probably easily the best, or if not one of the best comic caps you can get or have been released. I definitely want to get Hulk. Still need Hulk. And then I'm just hoping to get the new Thor that's coming out, which is like a modern Thor. I would like the 80th version one, but I'm not opposed to getting that one. So that's that. So yeah, let's just have a little, casual talk. It doesn't all have to be about topics and whatnot. You can absolutely talk absolute shite if you want. So, have you been working on anything lately? This isn't something we typically talk about on the podcast, but I thought, why not? Why not ask, what we've been up to and, let people listen to the absolute boring shite we do. Have you been up to much?
Yeah, well, I've got some videos that I want to make this year, like a Doctor Doom video.
Yeah.
It's like a music video. I've got a Halloween video that I'm working on constructing like a house for.
Yeah. How far into that have you got?
I've gotten the interior and exterior of the garage and the house themselves spray painted. I just need to go and do the touch-up paints.
Yeah.
And then start adding details and stuff. But I've been kind of putting things on a back burner because thanks to our mutual friend Renzolian, he's gotten me addicted to a little video game you might have heard of called Fortnite.
A little addictive.
So a little bit. And I also have videos that I want to make. Like skits from using audio, like our streams of that. The first one I want to do. I'd love to make, but it requires the Foundation figure to release. So once that comes out, I can start making those.
That should be dropping soon, I think. Could be wrong, but
it's supposed to be, man. It's supposed to be like the 1st of April, which is like next week. But hopefully it'll soon.
Wouldn't surprise me if it gets delayed with everything else.
Scientist got announced after him and came out earlier. So
yeah, that's true. I'm kind of doing the same with videos. I've got. If you don't know, said it in the first video. We do story videos on our YouTube channels and whatnot. So this is what we're talking about at the minute. I've got a few skits, I think, or sketches, whatever you want to call them, throughout the year. I know I've got stuff like Idiots and Life of a Night. I don't know what they're going to be. But then I've got the Idiots anniversary special that I'm doing at the end of the year. I started filming that the other day. I just did like the opening to it. I haven't filmed anything else. I'm not sure what else, like, in terms of Lego. That's all Lego related. But I don't know. I kind of want to try and do some action figure stuff, but I'm not too sure. Like, with videos for me at the minute, like, for the past, like, I'd say 2 or 3 years, I just haven't had that much interest in them. I've been more focused on other things. I don't know, just... Not saying that I don't enjoy them. It's just I guess I just feel like it takes more effort to do. I don't know. Do you ever get like that?
Yeah, I've been kind of in that. I've finished up my big series in 2018, and was kind of. I put so much work into that for so long. It just kind of burnt me out. And,
yeah, that's the thing.
Everyone is always waiting for. That thing that I unfortunately committed to, but...
Yeah. Well...
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see what the year entails and stuff. But, yeah. Do you want to say anything else before we wrap up?
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening. Please... consider rating the podcast, because it will massively help us in the long run, getting more attention and stuff on Spotify, and sharing the episodes if you don't mind. And I know this is a lot to ask. To follow our Instagram page, the All Things Geek Instagram page, over on Instagram. So the logo is just the same, or the profile picture is exactly the same what our Spotify logo is. So if you see it, please do consider giving us a follow. Mainly we just post updates and, you know, updates and kind of maybe Q&A at some point when we get so far into it and whatnot. But yeah, just say goodbye.
Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you next week with Moon Knight.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'll see you later. Bye.